Welcome to the Time2Fly Podcast. It's time to give your business wings and take flight to achieve more impact, influence, and income with unique perspectives, tools, and tips from successful entrepreneurs and business professionals to help your business fly. Here to educate, encourage, and entertain you with their own unique perspectives and experience, plus sharing anecdotes of growing up as cowgirls. Here's your host, Jill Fleming.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Time to Fly, Give Your Business Wings. I'm your host, Jill Fleming, and today I am going to be talking about customer service. I'm coming a little bit from This Is My Podcast, and I'll rant if I want to. I had a very distinct customer service experience from one side to the other recently. I was traveling to Denver to fly out to catch a flight here about 2 weeks ago. And I got really sick. I caught a stomach bug or something, was literally stopping alongside the road to throw up. It was not a pretty sight. And I had a 5 a.m. flight with Southwest Airlines flying out of Denver. And I just knew that it was just going to be miserable on that flight. So I was like, you know what? I've had amazing customer service experience with Southwest. A few years ago, my grandma was in the hospital and I had a flight to fly home, and she remained in the hospital longer than I had planned. And I called Southwest to reschedule my flight, and they rescheduled me to another day, no extra charge. So at that moment, Southwest got my loyalty, and they reaffirmed that loyalty with my experience I had when I called them in the vehicle driving to Denver, feeling terrible. I called customer service for Southwest and said, hey, I have a 5 a.m. flight tomorrow out of Denver, and I'm feeling really sick. I looked online, and there's a 2 p.m. flight that looks like it has seats open. Is there any way that I could change my flight? And he looked it up, and he said, you know what? You're not feeling well. I can absolutely rebook you on that 2 p.m. flight, no charge. And we all know that airlines love to charge for any little thing that they can charge for. And I was just so relieved. I felt terrible, and it just gave me so much space to know, hey, I can get to the hotel, I can sleep in the morning, I can take care of myself, and then get ready to go to the airport and give myself a chance to feel better. In direct contrast, I had a car reservation with Avis, and I decided to call them and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that instead of my flight getting in at 7 a.m., my flight's going to get in at 4 p.m. Can you go ahead and just update my reservation? So the customer service rep said, we can update it, but that will be an additional $1,015. And I was shocked. I was like, it's the exact same reservation. I'm just a few hours later. And thankfully, the customer service rep did say, ma'am, we do hold reservations for up to 15 hours, so you should be okay. And I did not change my reservation. But it was just so different of absolutely, I'd be happy to help you, and let me change that for you at no cost, to, I'm sorry, that's going to be $1,015. When I was just making a courtesy call and saying, hey, it would probably be nice for your reps to know that I'm going to be coming in later. When this happened, I was like, oh my gosh, this is completely a podcast episode. And I decided to do a little bit of research. I looked at Southwest Airlines. According to the 2018 Temkin Experience Ratings, guess what? Southwest Airlines is number 1. And the second airline I like to fly on is number 2, Alaska Airlines. United Airlines, who I hate to fly on, is number 6. And at the very bottom is Spirit Airlines, because we all know that they have horrible customer service. And you only fly them if you absolutely have to, and you can get a really, really, really cheap flight, because they will nickel and dime you to death. Then I decided to look up Avis. Guess what? They have a below average customer service rating. According to JD Power, I took a look, and out of 9 car companies, they are number 5. And they are below industry average. That doesn't surprise me that they have below average customer service. So I decided to do a little more research and find out what the cost of bad customer service is. Because Southwest has my loyalty. If they fly there, I will more than likely book my flight with them, even if it's a little bit more money. One, because bags fly for free. And for me, when I travel, there's usually a bag that I cannot check. So I always need to check a bag. That has always been such a perk for me, and they're just so easy to work with. On the other hand, rental car companies, I go with the cheapest price. If they're on the top 9, I will usually go with the cheapest price. And yes, Avis was the cheapest this time, but if Enterprise or Hertz was cheaper next time, I will go with them. I don't have customer loyalty to them, and they didn't earn it from me either. So I looked up the cost of bad customer service. And according to American Express, they did a survey, 33% of Americans say they'll consider switching companies after just a single instance of poor service. And Americans tell an average of 15 people about a poor service experience versus the 11 people they tell about the good experience. Well, with this, I'm telling both experiences, so it should be 50-50. And this one was really interesting. U.S. companies lose more than $62 billion annually due to poor customer service experiences. And according to Salesforce, 74% of people are likely to switch brands if they find the purchasing process too difficult. And after one negative experience, 51% of customers will never do business with that company again. Where are you at with customer service? It is profitable to have great customer service. So I also looked up the return on investment of great customer service. And again, according to American Express, 7 out of 10 U.S. consumers say they'll spend more money to do business with a company that delivers great service. And I'm in that 7 out of 10, especially when it comes to using Southwest. Also, increasing customer retention rates by 5% increases profits anywhere from 25 to 95%. And it's anywhere from 5 to 25 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a current one, according to the Harvard Business Review. And according to the Temkin Group, a moderate increase in customer service experience generates an average revenue increase of $823 million over 3 years for a company with $1 billion in annual revenues. If you look at Southwest Airlines again, if you look at them as a case study, they are number 1 in customer service. They are also number 1 in profitability. What does that tell you? It is profitable to take care of your customers. And it feels like often with many companies, they make it very difficult to get your issue resolved. Has anybody been on the phone lately and had to wait an hour to get to a customer service rep? There is power in that personal touch. Another statistic from American Express said that 75% of customers believe it takes too long to reach a live agent. And the number 1 reason people dislike calling companies is not being able to speak to a real person right away. A resource that I use to help with this is called gethuman.com. It's a great online tool that allows you to put in the company that you're looking to reach for customer service, and it will tell you the prompts that you need to push or the number that you need to call to actually speak to a human being. It's really amazing, and I highly recommend you use it. Another stat says that customers will wait on hold for an average of 11 minutes before they'll hang up. And a quote from the Zappos CEO says, "We take most of the money that we could have spent on paid advertising, instead put it back into customer experience. Then we let the customers do our marketing." Take these statistics and look at it. How are you loving your customers? If you love your customers, they'll love you. And I looked up a social media stat is more often on social media, people will actually post about a great customer service experience as opposed to a bad one, about 2 times over. I'm an example of that. I'm speaking about a great customer service experience that I had, and I've had it with them twice. And I tell a lot of people that I am a Southwest Airlines fan. I used to drive 2 hours to be able to fly Southwest instead of the local airline. I am an avid fan of them, and I am promoting them and talking about them on my podcast. So what are you doing for customer service to get yourself out there to create raving fans that are talking about you and saying how much they are a fan of your business? I also found a quote by Colleen Barrett, who is the Southwest Airlines president emeritus, and her quote said, "To earn the respect and eventually love of your customers, you first have to respect the customers. That is why golden rule behavior is embraced by the most winning of companies. So what is your golden rule of behavior? So with that, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsor, and I will be right back.
This episode is sponsored by the book Freedom to Fly, the visionary leader's guide to unlocking your unique freedom code to confidently create more impact, influence, and income. Get your copy of this best-selling book on Amazon.com.
And we're back. So I just wanted to finish up the podcast with quotes that I found about what customers think. This one is from Lauren Friedman, president of the e-tailing group. Always keep in mind the old retail adage, customers remember the service a lot longer after they remember the price. She also said, although your customers won't love you if you give bad service, your competitors will. So really embracing your customers and helping them have a great experience makes them feel good. They like ease. They like being able to have something accomplished. And even in all the statistics, a lot of people will spend more money if they have a great customer service experience. So once again, what are you doing in your business to really love on your customers? Because if you love on their customers, they will love on you with their pocketbooks. Another quote from Forrester says, the majority, 66% of adults, feel that valuing their time is the most important thing a company can do to provide them with good online customer experience. And feeling underappreciated is the number one reason customers switch away from products and services. So appreciation. Don't we all just want to feel appreciated? Don't we all just want to feel like our time is valuable? Who really is going to say that they're having a good customer service experience if they have to wait an hour and a half, or longer to be able to speak for someone to resolve their problem? And thankfully, there are a lot of online solutions to be able to solve problems now. But when you often have a unique problem, you need to speak to a human being. Then you can actually express the issue and hopefully have it fixed. I'm a Verizon cell phone service user. And that's one of the things I appreciate about them is they do have a human customer service line that when something is going on, I can call them and they can attempt to fix it. I don't like working with robots. I don't like the prompts when you go through all the prompting and all that kind of stuff. I know it's supposed to make things easier, but it annoys me. I want to press 0 and actually speak to a human and tell them what's going on. Please fix my problem. I am in pain here. Help me get out of pain. Number one, try to have your customers have an absolutely wonderful experience from the get-go. But 2, if there is an issue, let them know that you have some sort of guarantee. Tell them, you know what, I have a satisfaction guarantee. If there's anything that you are not happy with, please let me know. I'm happy to fix it. Raving customers are way better than upset customers because upset customers will spread that. I would love to hear some of your experiences with customer service. So please comment on social media. Follow us at Time2Fly Podcast with the number 2 at Time2Fly Podcast on Facebook, or you can also email us at time2flypodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly with customer service. Remember, customer service is king. Make sure that you are taking care of your customers. When you do that, it will increase your profits and increase your raving fans. Thank you to our listeners. And remember, it is time to fly. Give your business wings.
A big thank you to this episode's sponsor, Freedom to Fly, the visionary leader's guide to unlocking your unique freedom code to confidently create more impact, influence, and income. Get your copy of this best-selling book on Amazon.com.
Join our fly. Stay informed of all things Time to Fly by subscribing to our newsletter at Time2Flypodcast.com. And be sure to tune in to our next show.